Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and let's choose our October spooky season TBR today. So, first things first, I apologize because the month of September did not go as planned at all for me. I was hoping to fit in a lot of reading in between the bear hunting on the weekends, and that did not happen. Not like I thought. It was basically going all weekend, and then I got home and all I wanted to do was sleep all week. And I didn't want to vlog. So that being said, I didn't get out as many videos, anywhere near as many videos as I wanted to. And I want to try to make up for that in October. I have a lot of plans for October, and hopefully my reading can keep up with that. But we'll see how things go. But I do have lots of plans. I'm really excited for everything that I'm going to be reading in October, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that being said, let's go over what I read for my September TBR. I have my bullet journal over here, but the sun is shining on everything because it's just the right time in the morning. But for my first prompt, I had a cafe or baking on the cover, and for that one I chose Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe by Heather Weber. I started listening to this one as an audiobook, and then I thought, no, I want to read it physically, and then I never went back to it. So unfortunately, I did not read that one. The second prompt I had was foliage on the cover / epic or high fantasy. And for that one, I chose Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. I don't know if you can see it back here, but I do have it right here. It has made it to the shelves. I read it. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It might be one of my top books of the year. Honestly, I fell in love with this world. I fell in love with the book and the characters, and I just had such a great time, and I loved it. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars. So I did read that one. And then for prompt number 3, I had start, finish, standalone. 3 separate books that I chose for that prompt. Start a series, finish a series, and a standalone, obviously. For that one, I chose, for start a series, I chose The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I read this, and I will not be continuing in the series. I gave it 2 stars. It was not for me, especially coming off of having just read Shield of Sparrows with the super slow burn that it is. The Coven just didn't do it for me. I felt like it had a lot of really good intentions, but it just didn't follow through. I felt like it was trying to do too much without fully exploring any of it, and it just wasn't for me. I didn't care for it. For finish a series, I chose Everyone Wants to Rule the World Except Me by Django Wexler. This one is the sequel to How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. I started this one and I just didn't get very far into it. I read the first chapter or 2, which is honestly like 50 pages into the book, but I just didn't get super invested in it right away. It wasn't really what I was in the mood for, so I want to come back to it at a later date. It just didn't happen in September. So then for a standalone, I chose House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. I haven't gotten to that one yet. I want to, but if I don't get to it by the end of September, I want to add it on to October, because it is currently, what day is today? It is currently Wednesday, the 24th of September when I'm filming this, and I really want to read it. I just don't know if I'm going to have the opportunity before the end of the month. So if I don't read it, I want to do it as like an add-on for October, because I really want to read it. Next up for foiling on the cover, I chose Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. Now, I made it like halfway through this book, and I was not following the storyline at all. I was not invested in the characters. I was not invested in the storyline. I felt like, again, it was just too many different things going on, and I wasn't invested or following any of it. So I ended up DNFing that one, and yeah, I was 230 pages in there. I wrote it down in here. I was 230 pages in that book, so I was quite a ways into it, and I just didn't care. And I felt like she loved The Hunger Games and Knight's Tale and Pacific Rim and tried to combine all that into a book, and I felt like it just didn't really work, you know? So Definitely an interesting concept. I really debated on trying to hang on to it, see if maybe if I go back to it, if I would have interest in it. But honestly, when I hit the point of wanting to DNF a book, I don't want to think about it anymore, and I'm just ready to move on. I have over 230 books on my physical TBR, so I just don't want to go back to it. So I did DNF that one halfway through. Unfortunately, I'm really bummed out. The beautiful pages will not be staying on my shelves. There's no point for me to keep a DNF, a book that I didn't care about, on my shelves if I didn't enjoy it. So unfortunately, it will be leaving my shelves. And last but not least, I had an orange cover prompt. And for that one, I chose The Invisible Library by Sarah Hoffman. I actually finished this one yesterday. It was 250 pages, and that one was following a girl who lives in a cult-ish community, and it's very oppressive. And she finds comfort in the words of Nathaniel Hawthorne and the Scarlet Letter, and finds that she actually has a lot in common with Hester Prynne, our main character in Scarlet Letter. And she doesn't really know why, but either way, it's kind of a magical realism type book. It kind of gave me vibes of The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, and I was really hoping for it to be just as good. And unfortunately, it was not. I was really bummed out by it, and I just didn't really care. I didn't get into the characters. I didn't believe in the magical realism aspects of it. And I don't know, there's just something about it. And then it was open-ended enough at the ending that I just felt like it just kind of stopped, and I'm like, okay. So I finished that one, but unfortunately I only gave that one 2 stars as well. So I started out the month on a high with reading Sheila Sparrows by Debbie Perry, giving that 5 stars, and then it just kind of went downhill. So I've had some DNFs, I've had some lower rated books, I've had some mediocre books, but it's been kind of a whirlwind. So overall, I read 4 out of 7 books so far that I've chose for September. So not terrible, but my videos have not reflected that. So, all of that being said, I have books picked out for October. I have lots of video plans for October, and I'm very excited for starting to film and starting to work on these projects and getting some B-roll and just all the things. I'm really excited for this. So I am going to be doing 6 throws for October. I got a little carried away when I was throwing my knives, and I did 6 instead of 5, but you know what? That's okay. I'm fine with that. So let's get into the throws. Now that I've had this very long 10-minute intro, let's get into my throws. I do 6 throws, and I will pick out my books. So for my first prompt, I got a haunted house story, and for that one, I am going to go with one that I probably wanted to read that I know that I wanted to read last year. It's one that my dad got for me for my birthday from a really popular author that I've never tried before. I'm really excited to try it out, and that is The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates. Like I said, I've never read anything from this author, but I've been really wanting to try out some of her books because I know she's very popular when it comes to horror, and I love a haunted house story. I loved Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and then I really enjoyed Spite House. I felt like there were things that could have been done better in Spite House, but overall I really liked the haunted house aspect of it, and so I'm really excited to try this one out. It says, there's something wrong with Ashburn House. Everyone knows about Ashburn House. They whisper that its old owner went mad and restless ghosts still walk the halls. But when Adrienne, desperate and in need of a place to stay, inherits the crumbling old mansion, she only sees it as a lifeline until darkness falls. Strange messages are etched into the walls, furniture moves when she leaves the room, and a grave hidden in the depths of the forest hints at a terrible, unforgivable secret. Something twisted lives in her house, its hungry eyes ever watchful. Chasing the threads of a decades-old mystery, it isn't long before she realizes she's become prey to something deeply unnatural and intensely resentful. She has no idea how to escape. She has no idea how to survive. Only one thing is certain. Ashburn's dead are not at rest. So it sounds really good. I'm super intrigued to try this out. And I hope that I love this and want to read more Darcy Coates because I know a lot of people enjoy her books. And so I think this is as good a place as I need to start. And yeah, I'm excited to try it. The next prompt that I got is beautifully creepy. Now there's a very specific book that I had in mind for this one. It just so happens that I have it from the library right now, and I do need to get it read so that way I can return it. It is short and sweet, but it is beautifully creepy, and that is Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. If you look at that, you've got the flowers, then you've got the face, and it's just kind of wonky. I want to read this book because Sid has talked about it in the past. Sydney from Sid Bookworm has talked about it in the past, and she loves this book, and I want to try it out. So this one is just a short, tiny little book. But it says, Rosemary meets Ash at the farmer's market. Ash, precise, pretty, and practically perfect, sells bars of soap in delicate pastel colors, sprinkles spackled, cupcakes stacked on scallop stands, beeswax candles, jelly jars, and honey, and glossy green plants. Ro has never felt this way about another woman. With Ash, she wants to be her and have her in equal measure. But as her obsession with Ash consumes her, she may find she's not the only one doing the devouring. Told in lush, delectable prose, this is a delicately dark tale of passion taking an unsavory turn. So this book sounds fantastic. I love that it's just a really short one to add on to this month's TBR, and I'm so excited to try it. And I think this book fits just perfectly for the beautifully creepy kind of cover, because that's exactly what this is. Prompt, I got a horror book, and for that one I am going to add one that was on my TBR last year that I never got to. I read the first little bit of it, was super intrigued, and never continued, but I want to continue now. It's still sitting on my shelves. I still really want to read it. But that is Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. This is the very first book in the Silence of the Lambs series, and the Hannibal Lecter thing. It's the start of Hannibal Lecter. I watched this movie last year with my husband for the very first time, and I loved it. I love Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think Anthony Hopkins does such a fantastic job as Hannibal Lecter. He fits the part so well. Like, he plays it off so well, and I love that movie. So when I found out that it was based on a book, and I immediately had to buy it. I wanted to read it. I found out this was the first one, so I got it. And I still have not actually read this book, so I need to read it. This one is FBI agent Will Graham once risked his sanity to capture Hannibal Lecter, a cannibalistic serial killer like no other. Now Graham is following the bloodstained pattern of the Tooth Fairy, a madman who's already wiped out 2 families. To find him, Graham has to understand him. To understand him, Graham has only one place left to go, the mind of Dr. Lecter. So I'm really, really excited to read this book. I really want to get to it this year since I didn't last year. And it's so fitting for a horror book. It's so creepy looking, and it's Hannibal Lecter. I mean, who cannot say that Hannibal Lecter is a horror? Like, so excited to read this book. I know there's so many books that I could choose. I have books from the library. I've got Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. I've got, I don't even remember what else right now. I have so many books from the library that I want to read. I have books that I could choose here at the house. This one is just, it's so fitting. It's so fitting, and I want to read this book. So this is the one that I'm going to do for my horror book. The next prompt that I got is pumpkins on the cover or in the title, and for that one I have a very specific book in mind. I talked about this a little bit before, but I'm going to be reading The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I read The Strawberry Patch Pancake House in August, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The ending kind of fell off the wagon for me, but overall I really liked it. And so for this prompt, I'm going to be reading The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I'm really excited to try out another one of these books. I think they're really fun and easy reads. Small town romance. This one, it says, when Jeannie's aunt gives her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbor's gossip at all costs, but Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. So it's small town romance. He's a farmer, she's a city girl. I think it sounds really cute, and I'm excited to try another one of the books in these series. I'm reading them out of order, but you know, I have it now, so I'm gonna read it. next prompt that I got is bats or an animal on the cover, and I actually had one specific book in mind for this, or technically two. And I have a lot of duplicates that I want to read for these prompts. So if I have time, I would like to read the other books I had in mind as well. The one book that I had in mind was The Only Purple House in Town by Anna Guire. I do really want to read that one, and I do own it. However, with making this prompt, the one that I had in mind was Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazang by Kylie Lee Baker. I have heard wonderful things about this book. I have heard it is creepy. I have heard it is graphic. I have heard that it is phenomenal, and I want to try it. I don't read a ton of horror, okay? If you watch my channel, you know that I don't read a ton of horror. I do a little bit. I dabble here and there, but I don't read a lot of it. I want to try this book. I am very curious about it. It's not super long. I think it's like 300 and some pages. It's not super long. Sorry, the sun. And I want to try it out. I want to see if I like it as much as everybody else did. It's the same kind of thing with Bloom, with Bunny, with all these other books that I have. This one is another library book, and it just so happened to be there when I went and was perusing a while back, and I still have it, and I need to read it, and I want to read it, so I'm going to put it in for this prompt. Alright, and last but not least, my last prompt is perfect fall vibes. And I was debating on what I wanted to do for this. I first was thinking like a romance, like a fall romance. I was like, well, I don't have anything really like fall romance-y other than like funny feelings. And I don't really want to read that one right now. And I have like Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper that I could read, and I need to read. I was feeling fantasy and magic and things like that, like The Spell Shop or Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping or The Unmaking of June Farrow. I almost grabbed The Unmaking of June Farrow to do a reread of this, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. The one that I decided to go with is one that I just got. I've never heard of it. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I've never read anything from this author before, but it is Never the Roses. This is by Jennifer K. Lambert, and I'm so excited to read this. So this one, I saw it being pitched as like an epic fantasy romance, but when I read the synopsis, it sounded more like cozy fantasy to me. And that's what I'm going to be going in with the intentions of, is thinking that this is going to be a cozy fantasy. It's blurbed by Sarah Beth Durst on the front and on the back. But it says for the synopsis, this is all she wanted was one look at the library of her greatest enemy. And after a lifetime of being wielded against each other, they finally meet. The dread sorceress Onira has retired. She's exhausted from fighting the endless wars of kings and queens and has long accepted that her death is near. Alone at last, but for a few uninvited companions, a near mythical wolf, a goddess's avatar, and a feline that embodies magic itself, Onira realizes that she's bored. On a whim, or perhaps at the behest of fate, she makes an unlikely trip to the most extensive library in existence, the home of her most powerful rival, the sorcerer Cyrano's. But by recklessly stealing a book from him, Onira inadvertently initiates a forbidden correspondence. Taunting notes and clever retorts reveal a connection neither has found, nor could ever find in any other. But Onira soon learns that Cyrano's, bound to a vile king, is tasked with waging war on the queen she once served. A relationship with him is far too dangerous to pursue, despite their mutual desire, and yet Onira can't seem to stay away. A bond with Cyrano's could light the long-extinct flame of life within her, or it could destroy her entirely. So like I said, this one is pitched more like online as more of an epic fantasy romance, but it's giving me cozy vibes, and I just think this cover is beautiful. I know it's kind of hard to see with the light and everything, but the rose, the font, and then it has this like fairy tale-esque look to the pages. And it seems like it's gonna be a cozy romance. And so I felt like it was very fitting, just cozy and libraries and books and magic and creatures and companions, animal companions. It just sounds like it's gonna be a great time. I'm really, really excited to try this one out. Like I said, I've never heard of it before. It was one I got off of Amazon on a whim because it just sounded good. It got my attention, it caught my eye, and I'm really excited to try it out. So this is the one that I am going to be fitting in for perfect fall vibes. All right, so that is it. These are the 6 books that I have chosen to read for October. I have 2 library books, 4 of my own personal books, and then I have some backups that I really want to get to. But these are the books that I will be choosing. I have Red Dragon, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, The Haunting of Ashburn House, Bloom, Never the Roses, and Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. I am so excited for this stack. Have you read any of these? Have you enjoyed them? Have you not enjoyed them? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below as usual. Do you think I can do it? Do you think I'll read them all this time? I think it's pretty doable. They're not super long, and I have, like I said, I have lots of plans for this month. I'm really excited about all of them. I really hope I can get to everything that I'm wanting to this month. And I'm just excited. I really want to make up for September and really be here for you guys this month. And I can't wait. I'm so thrilled. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.